The following live broadcast is rated ESV PG. The topic's your call, so is the content. Good evening, everybody. On tonight's show, we're going to be talking with you about different events that have been happening around in our lives, but more importantly, what's been going on in your lives. This is our open forum show. We're going to talk briefly about possibly entering the stages of mental breakdowns, as well as, believe it or not, Milo and Otis. So one extreme to the other is going to happen. You guys ready?
It's all related.
It is. It is definitely all related. All right, let's get this going. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ear Shoulder Voice. That's all messed up, isn't it? I forgot to take that off. Anyway, welcome to Ear Shoulder Voice. It's been a long time. We haven't been on for a little bit, so yeah, I'm forgetting a few things here, trying to remember how to do everything, but we're back. This is our open forum show, of course, as you're all used to, so this is mainly about you. We want to hear what you have to say, what's been going on. Everything's getting back to normal finally. People are getting out there. People are enjoying life again. It's an amazing feature, but not everything's going so well for everybody. So if you got something on your mind, please talk about it. Tell us what you want. But we've got panelists to talk with, and we're definitely going to bring them in. Our first panelist tonight, of course, is the staple of our ESV Sunday shows, the one who's always here. We love him very much, and we're always happy to have him back. Please welcome Anthony. Anthony, how are you doing?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. You're still living the dream?
Always.
That dream still hasn't become a nightmare?
Well, nightmares are dreams. They're you know hand in hand.
I guess keeping them together and associated with each other is a good thing. It keeps you happy.
As long
Anything
as you
exciting?
say it's a dream, it sounds great.
Okay, well, we're going to call it a dream then. Some have turned into nightmares periodically, but they are still dreams. And one of the biggest things about it is remembering to get back to reality, of course. They are dreams. They are figments. They're not necessarily everything that, it's not a definition of what's really going on in your life. You can always find a good path on there. As I told people before, we've been off the air for a little bit. We had some issues going on. I was out of town. We're going to talk about that at the very end as well, and other things going on. But anything that's on your mind that you want to talk about, please do. Here is our next wonderful panelist, Gabe. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So what's been going on in your life? I've heard you had a pretty busy weekend so far.
Yeah, I got out to the Centerline Fair over here, and we went to the beach, Metro Beach today. And when we left at 3:30, the line in to Metro Beach was 2 miles long.
I can believe that. This has been one of the first
2
really
miles long.
It's our first really hot post-Memorial Day that we've had, and that's when everything starts to open up again, so everything's getting insane. You're not the only ones at the beach. We got Elena here. Elena and Brandon are checking in. They were at the beach all day and are crispy. I was in my pool most of the day, but it's hot inside now. Got to get it. Jan's here. Jan said hello. Hi, Jan. How you doing tonight?
Hello.
Hope everything's going well for you. What's been on your mind, Jan, by the way? I know you were going through some things that we were talking about last time. How is that going? Have you gotten any results from your test? Please let us know. We'd love to hear about it from you. So, Bill's also here. Bill says, well, I was on vacation. Thanks for capitalizing that. I chimed in about 5 podcasts. They were not as easygoing as you guys. Asked not to comment anymore. Blocked, kicked off, and shunned. Yeah, we're a little more free, a little more open with everybody. You can pretty much say anything you want. Just don't say white trash, because that gets you kicked off. We already know that from that Roseanne episode you mentioned. But anyway, glad to have you back, Bill. We did miss you. I missed everybody on here. So, but not everything has been going as smoothly as I'd hope right now, and I wanted to talk about that briefly, even though I'm going to start with it probably isn't the best idea. Anthony's seen this kind of firsthand lately. So has anybody ever here just felt like they were mentally gone? They're starting to have a breakdown or something, and they just don't know how to turn.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Hunter's here. She says she nursed a hangover all weekend. That was a long-ass hangover. Well, I'm glad you're still around here to enjoy it, okay? I'm glad the hangover's gone and you can be with us today. Elena says probably no women on the podcast that Bill was trying to watch. That's probably why I was kicked off. He probably just kept going on like, hey, where are all the women?
What's with this sausage fest?
Right.
Right, right. But we still love Bill. He still tunes in. Janice says, just started to try options with the kidney problem. All right, I'm glad they're doing some options to help you get through that. Stay positive, Jan. Stay with that because you're going to get through this just fine. I know it can be hard, especially not knowing the answers, but believe me, with today's modern medicine, they do everything they can to try to help you. So I wish you the best on that. And as I was talking before, doing the mental breakdowns, I feel like I'm actually going through that lately. And I don't know if anybody else has been. Everything's kind of just going downhill, and I don't feel like myself. So much so, we had another topic coming up called Finding Yourself that we're going to be doing in about a month. Just finding out where you went. So, what was yours like, Gabe? You said you went.
Well,
through
mine goes away and sort of it'll just brim back up in sort of a stretch of days or weeks, and it's not any one thing necessarily that will cause it. It's not causation as far as bad things happening to me from my job or things like that. It's just a natural sort of, I don't know. It's your worldview kind of changes in those situations, and
I think the biggest breakdowns that people have, and especially in my case, are the ones that are not caused by something.
right.
Because
And-
you don't have something to blame on it. You don't have like something can fix this problem.
Right, and if you have a logical mind, and are used to sort of fixing things or independent, you are constantly looking for, well, what is it? What's that one thing that's causing me to feel this way? And there's not always an easy answer for
It
that.
is. For everybody out there on the chat, has anybody ever gone through any kind of like mental breakdowns that we're talking about really quickly and figured out how to pull themselves out of it? Sometimes you don't know the reason, you just know you don't feel right. The situation, the things around you don't feel right. What about you, Anthony? You gone through anything like that?
Oh, just one or two.
Just one or two. I have the strange feeling that you're not being totally honest right now.
Well, yeah, it happens. The worst thing too, like Gabe was saying, is it's just when you don't know why, you don't know what caused it. It's just blah.
Yeah.
You're not happy with where you are in your life, but you can't pinpoint exactly what's wrong.
Right.
Elena here says, yes, I'm so right. You can't pinpoint it. It makes it so much harder. Because you start trying to fix things, I think, in those situations that don't need fixing, but you're trying to find something to change.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, I got to find myself again, too. I feel in a boat that is worse than I was when I started this. Though my depression has improved, I got to find out where
Right.
I've got to make these changes. One of the things has been the career. And it's a financial thing with the career. And just feeling taken advantage of, I think, has been one of the big things I've been dealing with. And you get tired of it. You get to the point that you just don't want to, but you don't want to hurt anybody in the process. They've been around you their whole life. You've always taken care of them and done what you could for them. You don't want to hurt these people. So how do you get through that lump?
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question.
You saw it, Anthony. It's
Sometimes
okay.
you have to say fuck it and do what's good for you.
Sometimes you just got to say, fuck it. I
mean,
agree with that one.
honestly, and you have to. It's a slippery slope, because by having those feelings of you don't want to hurt somebody and you focusing on not hurting people, you don't realize that the only person you're hurting is you.
Right.
Right. And a lot of the times people are understanding of things, and when you just kind of put the boundaries there and say, look, we need to change the dynamic, most people will be receptive to that. But if you just kind of don't want to hurt their feelings and never bring it up and never have the conversation, you end up just kind of spiraling with it by yourself.
What about the old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it?
Well,
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm saying, like, one of the things that's been my career, and I did a long thing about the entertainment business working in bars. I did a post about that they're very underappreciated and underpaid in the long run. They're good when they start, but 20 years later, they're going to make the same amount of money, be doing the exact same thing. Nothing changes for them. Now, that's a truly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it situation in a sense, because they've dealt with that for 20 years. How do you suddenly decide this needs fixing? Without damaging things. I mean, before you say it, like in my situation, before you say it, Gabe, is like in the bar, you don't want to lose the bar. You don't want them, for me, to drop you in my situation.
Right.
Like that. You don't want to lose those things. Go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, I mean the bar industry in itself is changing all the time. So, I mean, just look at live music, look at karaoke, look at everything. There's, I hate to say it, there's less appreciation and attention in many regards from the customers that do that. That's sort of changing in itself, and that there's less people that are sort of going and seeing live music or going out to bars for those particular things. As
But that's
opposed
from
to
my
just,
situation. But in general, when you, like we were talking, you kind of answered it, Anthony. You just got to say fuck it, and
Right.
whatever, which is true. But you really care about the people around you, and sometimes what
Right.
destroys them. What are the steps to overcome that? Asking everybody out there in the chat too. Please feel free to respond. We'd love to hear what you're thinking, or if you've gone through something similar or something totally unrelated, still tell us about it because that's what we're here for too. We just bring up topics that have hit us during the week so far. I want to remind before we actually go further, real quick, that we're still doing our giveaway. All you got to do is engage in the chat. Once you engage in the chat, you're entered for the giveaway, and we are once again, because it's popular, we're going to give away the Happier Me water bottle, right, that you see right before you. So
with lime.
So nice.
not including the lemon and lime. It turned out they brought by the time they get there. So that's all you do is talk, engage us in the chat. When you do, you're automatically entered, and we'll spin to see who won at that point. So go ahead, Gabe.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, you don't want to disappoint, especially if you've built a lot of sort of lasting relationships with people that have enjoyed your company and things like that. But at the same time, if they are your friends, they will understand that what you're doing what's best for you. And that's the only way that you can sort of, if you're going to change your career or whatever, that's going to be your best you can't just keep into something that you're just not that you're trapped into that
I
isn't
understand that.
helping
I
you
understand
anymore.
that. But it's kind of, well, career-wise for me, it's like it's what I know. It's what I do. I built my whole life around
Oh,
it.
I know. I've been
And
doing
it's
this
hard.
job for 20 years, and that's the problem with jobs. It's like after you've been doing them so long, it's the only thing you know anymore.
Yeah.
And trying anything different is scary.
Yeah,
I agree with
you're-
that.
You're in a bad spot with your job too, because I was gigging almost 10 years ago, right? And bars are paying the same as they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Although they've increased their prices and they're making more money.
Everybody
But
in the bar.
there's kind of a stigma where entertainment isn't allowed to ask for more money. They're not allowed to raise their
Because there's
prices.
always somebody to replace you. Now, don't get me wrong. I do feel irreplaceable in my job. People are going to lose business if they get rid of me. I've spent my life making sure that I am valuable to the places I work.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. But there's also sometimes that dollar wins. And
Yeah.
sometimes people don't care. It's like, get rid of you, Janet. I hope you win that drink bottle as well. Speaking of which, in your response to this, you said actually you saw the kidney doctor and discovered one kidney is working on its own, but at only 75%. The other one is too small to work. It happened when you were in the womb and never developed fully. Did you know
Wow.
about this problem? Like, have you known about this your whole life, or did they kind of discover that that's been the life situation? Because you hadn't talked about it before, and I know you said you were worried about the results. But the good thing is, regardless, if it has been too small to work your whole life and the other one's at 75%, you're still doing, I think, pretty good. And they've caught it enough that they're going to be able to help you. And you're going to be back in shape in no time. Like I said, keep that chin up. Stay smiling about it. You're going to get through it. People around you will help you. Anybody want to add anything?
No, definitely. I mean, there's a lot
Hit
of
it on
good.
the head.
Yeah, my father, myself have gone through kidney issues recently, and there's a lot of good doctors in the area, for sure. And it's not as they can usually figure it out.
Well, she also says in response, they took her, nurse took her blood pressure was 83/36, which is extremely low because their blood's not carrying enough oxygen to the kidney. And again, I always say this, people don't like getting certain diagnoses or seeing stuff like that because it scares them. Rightfully so, it does. But it's a lot better when you know there's a problem and how to fix it. It really is. So getting a diagnosis or knowing what's going on is going to work in your benefit. It's better. I've known people that have gone to the doctors for many, many a times and never gotten an answer to what was ailing them. So obviously, like I said, keep positive. If they're finding something, then there's something they can fix.
Yeah, they know what to do now.
Yeah, I had cancer. I went to the doctor for pain I couldn't explain for years, and I gave up going because nobody knew what it was. I pretty much went to the doctor like, well, you're fat, lose weight. And that was the answer to everything. And by mistake, one time I decided, one more time, I said, fuck it, this really hurts, I'm going to check it out. They did their x-ray, accidentally went too high on the x-ray, and found the tumor.
Yeah.
That was cancer. And they did it literally weeks before it would have ended my life.
Wow.
So there is something to be said for finding the problem, because those years were torture when I didn't know. But regardless that I had a cancerous tumor, it got fixed. Because once you know the problem, things will be fixed. Go ahead.
That's why I like the CT scans, because it's a million pictures,
Yeah.
slice by slice, and they really.
That's actually what it was.
It's a good piece of technology, yeah.
It was actually a CT, not an X-ray, but yeah.
Yeah.
And Jan says it's never been looked at before. Well, it's about time it was, so it can be taken care of. I do. I wish you the best. Prayers are with you, of course. We love you, but it's going to work out. Bill over here says he's been on and off of Prozac since they came out with it, but he has a couple good support groups. As far as my career, I have a plan. Can you get a hold of some green slime?
Ooh.
I don't know what your plan is right now, but I like it.
I was going to say, I think
Nickelodeon. It's got something to do with Nickelodeon, I think.
Nickelodeon. Weird that just came back. We actually did that before we started the show, so it's kind of weird it popped up. With the green slime, he also says, Keith, I've seen you at the bar hosting whatever you were doing, but I know you would have taken care of any problems. When I bounced at the bars, I got raised over time. Entertainment hosts don't. One of the biggest problems that's brought this up for those that don't know, I have been thinking about a career change lately. And I did a big post on it, and the post was not about any place in particular. It was just about how the entertainment industry is treated, and that when you're making the same money you did 20 years ago, which was great money, when that value hasn't changed, you're now making a very low wage. Because if you try to change it, most venues say, well, we'll get it cheaper elsewhere. Regardless how many people and how much money you bring in, and they up their prices on their drinks for entertainment purposes and everything else, and they don't change. And you're right, Bill, entertainment hosts do not, and neither do the companies. Because I also want to give my employees raises.
Right.
And you can't do that without technically taking a smaller cut myself, which is fine to a point, but I want them to make what I started making. And I still get something in there. Because if you're doing business for the bar and your host or whoever's working for you is doing a good job, they deserve compensation.
Yeah.
And if you're pulling in, I think you should get a piece of. I'm not necessarily tips. Well, I don't know.
Well,
Something with the tip system that wouldn't hurt. As far as getting a piece of the door or whatever is going on these days.
Well, even the tips. I had a couple conflicting conversations about this, and the idea was like bartenders and bar servers, in a sense, should tip out the entertainment industry a little bit to a point. Now, I'm not always talking about big bands, because some big bands do charge $2,000 to do a gig,
Right.
or whatever. They're definitely getting their money if they're doing a bar gig at that rate and stuff like that. It's a little bit better. And one of the arguments was, well, bartenders don't. They get tipped because of good service. They shouldn't have to share it. And that is absolutely true, with one exception. You don't have the people to take care of without
Right.
the entertainment.
Yeah.
If you're drawing, if you know those people are there just for karaoke, then they should be at the very least getting a piece of that, because you're the draw.
And that's
And maybe not the servers, but maybe the bar, right? The bar makes X
Some-
amount of money. They say, okay, hey, we did really good tonight. Thank you for bringing in the people. Here you go.
When you're
They
dealing
can
with,
do
like-
something for entertainment.
famous acts or celebrities and stuff like that. Usually they get a portion of the house, which is the portion of the money the bar makes. But unfortunately for the guys who I may be famous, but low on the totem pole still in the industry,
Yeah.
it's a little harder for us to do. Elena says, I had a really hard time when I left the restaurant industry. I loved it. The wear and tear that happened on top of the less than adequate compensation just wasn't worth it anymore. And my question to you on that, Elena, how did you leave it? Because one of the things that keeps me where I am is the people. I love people. I love what I do. And one of the people that responded to my post about leaving the entertainment industry, she had mentioned that, well, weddings and private parties are where the money is. And she ended it, but my heart isn't there. And that's my thing. My heart is in this job. Sure, I can make money other places. I've spent my life telling people that being happy at what you do is more important than the money you make. But that money still has to be livable and sustainable.
Yeah.
And how did you get out? I mean, your heart obviously in it. You said you loved it so much. Are you happy where you are now? Did you find something better? And I don't mean to obviously bring you down in any way. Or is there a part of you still wish you were doing something like that? Back to Jan here. Jan says, when the nurse took my blood pressure, it was, oh, yeah, I got that one. Next one.
I got that one.
That one's what I was looking for. The doctor has me checking my blood pressure every morning, and I charted until I see him next month. So he put me on vitamin D and a med to eat the cholesterol in the blood, which is good. They're working hard to correct it. Vitamin D2, she's correcting on there. And as you follow with, he said it could be an easy fix, and it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And just take care of those positive words. Never think about the negative possibilities with stuff, because your brain and your mind play just as big a role in you getting healthy as your body does. If you think positive, your brain, your body can fix itself with your mind alone. Having positive thoughts can help you get through things, but at the same token, having negative thoughts can hurt you and harm you as well. So always look at the positive and look where you're going with that. People have said, like couples, well, somebody dies and the other one dies of a broken heart pretty much. And that is given up, and that's a mental thing. And you never want to look darkly at things. So keep everything the doctor says that's positive, that you're going to get through it, and just focus on that. You will. You definitely will. Back to Bill. We're getting a lot of comments here. I have a helicopter on standby, and I purchased 3 very large boulders. Just let me know. I will call you after the show, Bill, for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
intrigued now.
But do you have cable?
They came to the not-to-be-mentioned bar for trivia, one of the bars I used to go. That's where I met Bill a long time ago. Elena says, you should be getting paid for all the promotion you do for the bars. That's the other thing. When you're dealing with entertainment in general, a lot of people think it's a party. You get up, you go into the place, you have fun, you enjoy it, whether you're playing in a band, doing an open mic comedy or anything like that. They don't realize the hours and hours of work that go behind the scenes that you never see. And that's unpaid work, because you're not paid hourly for that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
You're only paid what they give you at the end of the night. And this, if anybody here owns an establishment, I mean, take heed to these words with your entertainment. It's very important, because it is getting increasingly hard for people to live on the wages provided. And if they're doing a good business for your bar, do a little good for them. Help them out. Or any establishment that you're using. Back to Elena. Sheena and Jay takes good care of me when I'm there. Husband don't do shit. He's a pity party. He even told me today that if I get sick, he's sending me to assisted living up the street. Nice guy, huh? I'm just saying, Jan, he's not in the best of shape, and you're pretty much taking care of him, so you could beat him to the punch, you know. I was like, you can say I took a suggestion from you and send him up the street.
Yeah, took your advice.
But don't do that.
Right? I mean, do what you feel's right.
Yeah.
All right, do what you feel's right.
We didn't say anything.
Bill says working at a wedding is a pain in the ass. That's the other thing about the private events where your heart isn't it. There's so much more work that goes into it. I mean, weddings are constant meeting of days at work to get together, minus the event. There's a reason that they do cost more on there. And it eliminates you from being able to do a lot of them. That's why, but it's for me, it's always been the people with the job. I love it. And with weddings and stuff, you don't see those people again a lot of
It's a
times.
one-time thing.
Yeah. Whereas bar, I look forward to seeing people who I know come there for me, and I am there literally for them. Elena says, I absolutely loved all my coworkers. It was a really hard decision when she left the restaurant. Almost a year later, I finally figured out a more sustainable career, and I still get to meet people. You're starting cosmetology. And that, I've heard, is a very interesting career. I mean, if you've ever been to get your hair cut, especially in a salon or anything like that, there's a lot of activity going on around you. A lot of talking, a lot of meeting people, and people trust you. So, I mean, that's a really good career. to get into, and she's going to school in about a week. She'll be able to meet people and make connections with them. I'll receive more adequate
There's
pay
a
doing it.
ton of money in cosmetology,
Yeah.
especially if you own a cosmetology shop. I've known some people, and holy shit, it's a lot of money.
Every career can be a lot of money. And I know I'm not the only one that ever deals with this to the point. I just feel that I don't think people always understand certain aspects. And I'm not the only industry that this happens to. But it's one of the most pronounced industries because everybody goes to bars for entertainment.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
know.
or not everybody, but a good majority of the people out there do.
Well, and another thing that people
And
don't
restaurants,
realize,
as Elena said.
yeah, another thing people don't realize too with the entertainment, if you are booked for a gig, you are expected to bring people to fill that bar on top, making what you're making. So the bars expect you to bring people in, and if you want to continue to gig there and make money there, you have to be able to prove to them that you can fill their bar to make them money. So you would think it would be easy for them to say, okay, the more people you bring into this bar, we'll give you more money. If it's a
It gets
slow night,
difficult.
you get this, because, and like I said, I haven't been gigging in a while, but I'm assuming the wages for that are roughly the same as they were 10 years ago.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pay to play stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I played a show at down the street with Sponge a long time ago, probably about 7 years ago, and it was pay to play, and we had to sell at least 50 tickets, or else we owed them money.
Jeez.
See, and that's where it gets ridiculous because they're still making money.
Yeah,
And that's where it's hard to, because most entertainment providers are mostly under the table. There's nothing to claim, there's nothing to write, so they figure it's just hidden money. It's money you can sweep under anything, do whatever you got to do with it. It's not taxed, so it gets really hard. So they're happy just paying out the set amount,
Yeah.
and being done with it. Jan says she misses the medical field. She loved helping people. I've always thought about that because I really do like helping people. I've always thought about going into the medical field, but I don't like losing people. That's why I don't think I could really do it. It's just like being a veterinarian. You love animals, but I don't want to watch them die.
sure.
And I have a hard time with that one. But I definitely props to anybody in the medical field because that is a hard job, I know, to be able to deal with that. And sometimes you're the last person people can trust or talk to. And it's nice to be able to do that with others. Joe's here, says, what's the topics today, Joe? It is the open forum, as you should know. You've been on it before. So it's anything. We've mainly just been talking about pretty much mental breakdowns, especially when it comes to your career and stuff like that. But we're here to talk about anything. If you got something on your mind, bring it up. We'd love to talk about it. Bill says, I have a new free app that is showing all the new movies for free. Bill, why are you advertising this stuff? It's just called HBO Max. Everything goes there. Been watching the old Rules of Engagement. Warbird and Spade were great. They were, but it's interesting. You get all the new movies for free, and you watch Rules of Engagement.
Exactly. Right. There's also a new show called Mr. Belvedere, and also Small Wonder, I think, is a good show as well.
Oh, yeah, Small Wonder. Oh, my God, I forgot about that. That was a little creepy. It's one of those you look back, there's a little creepy vibe to that show.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
She was soulless robot,
Yeah.
murdering child.
Yes. Well, I used to love that show, too, and I can't look back on it anymore. Jans here says, you have help coming into this world, and you need to have help and have compassion when leaving, or you need help and compassion when you are leaving, which is, I get why people are there, and I think everybody finds their way to get into their career based on stuff like that, but some people just can't do it. That's why I fully respect the people in that field, because I'm one who really can't. I'll be glad to, but some people have dealt with life and death so much that it's just hard to deal with anymore. And I always worry that people like myself, even just with the people I've lost over time, become immune to death. And you don't feel the same. You're just like, yeah, it's another one gone. And I don't like that feeling. And I would hate for my job to be the cause of that feeling. But other people who are in that field, you've made a big change to a lot of people in life. So it's a good thing that you're there. And I appreciate when you were there, Jan, even though obviously I don't think you ever helped me in that situation. But I appreciate everybody there who has been. a lot of people in the medical field have definitely gotten me through some hard times because of the way they talk and discuss things, and it's very helpful. So much love to them. Bill says, "Shut up, Larry." I don't know. What are you watching now, Bill? All right. So what else is going on in everybody's lives? I don't want to dwell too much on this. I already dwelled through a half hour on it. So what else is going on? You had mentioned something, and we're going to just go right from one end of the spectrum to the other. You said you wanted to talk about Milo and Otis. Why are we talking about Milo and Otis?
Okay. The Adventures of Milo and Otis. So, it is a show, or a movie that came out in 86, I believe. Something like that. Hosted by Dudley Moore, and a sort of documentary style regarding a pug and a kitten who get on various adventures and sort of a dangerous road trip to nowhere. So, I used to love it as a child.
I did too when I was a kid.
Popped it in to watch it with my 7-year-old. And now that I have some insight into film production and larger questions like how did they do this, it turns out that it is a nightmare factory. Because and then I started reading up on it, and there are a lot of allegations of abuse. So the history behind this thing is it was made in Japan
Yeah.
as sort of an adult, not like an adult movie, but like
I know what you
more,
mean. It
more
was
grown up
Yeah.
sort of thing.
It was a grown-up
So-
animal movie.
There's scenes in this movie that got cut out of the original Japanese version. Okay. What is still in the American version is still very disturbing. You have a kitten who gets bit by a crab, and it's just hanging on the cat's lip.
Okay.
Things like that.
Well, it is because what they did, that movie was responsible for a lot of the animal cruelty. PETA was like going crazy over that movie. And it was because they literally, to film those scenes,
Yeah.
would just put those animals together.
Right. They'd throw a bear in struggling in deep water with a pug. Mm-hmm. They threw a kitten off of a cliff.
This is getting depressing.
Yeah.
But it is true, and in a sense, you got to thank that movie, as bad as it is, because a lot of it wasn't thought during the time, and it did. It started to make it so. That's why you see that tag at the bottom. No animals were harmed during the making of this film.
Right. Well, ironically, it still passed the certification for Humane Society.
All right, Bill's going back. He said he had a third seizure recently and finally talked to a doctor that seemed like she knew what she was talking about. And that's why I said I really admire the medical field, a lot of people in it. They get a bad rap sometimes. But a lot of them genuinely care about people and love them and want the best for them, and having the right person there get you through the situations. And Jan, I want to say, whoever is helping you right now, I hope you're getting that same kind of feeling from them. That's very important. He says Dragon Ball Z.
What?
You just jump all over the place. Bill says Dragon Ball Z was originally really strange. If they were going to do what they wanted, then it went to a kid cartoon. I think I had heard about that before, but I never really found any details about it, that it wasn't going to be a cartoon at all.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know all the details of what they wanted to do, but that's another thing that obviously came out that they weren't doing the right things on. So what about you, Anthony? We've talked about me, and before you answer, anybody out there on that panel or in the chat, just please, if you got anything on your mind, we love to talk. If you want to bring back some stuff we've already been talking about, feel free to as well. Anthony, what about you? You've got some changing things coming up right now.
Oh yeah, I get to go work in Canada for
Closer,
4
please.
weeks.
There we go.
So can you hear me better now? I had to turn
can hear
my
you
mic
better.
down. My brother came
Much
over,
better.
so the dog was screaming and
I gotcha.
shouting. So, but no, I get to go work in Canada for 4 weeks, right across the border. I get to see Detroit and the United States every day, but I can't come back.
You're going right across that river.
I gotta go on the other side. And
So, did you find? I know you were talking before about having to quarantine or something like that. How does that work?
I'll find out tomorrow when I get to the border.
So you literally do not find out till you get to the border.
Nope. No, I had okay. So we had to get like I think some sort of legal team involved in doing the international travel with visas during the pandemic. So I've got a big binder with 300 and some odd pages with supporting documents as to why I need to go work in Canada, why I'm an essential worker, and please don't make me quarantine and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, it's up to customs when I get there if I have to quarantine or not.
Well, I hope it's not. How long are you supposed to be going over there if you didn't have to quarantine?
4 weeks for this trip.
Okay, does that including quarantine? It's going to be 6 because you quarantined.
4 weeks because I do not want to stay much longer than that.
Okay.
So, but I'll probably have to go back. My ultimate hope is that the border between U.S. and Canada opens up. I know they were talking about opening the border on the 21st. And once the border opens and I can travel day to day, I'll do that because it's only about an hour away from my house.
Okay.
Where I'm going to be working. So,
Well, maybe.
ideally, that's what I thought I was going to do is just drive, across the border every day. But then with the COVID restrictions over in Canada, I have to stay there and possibly quarantine.
Maybe during that period, things will open up a little better too.
From what I've heard from the guys over in Canada, things are starting to open up as far as restaurants and stuff are concerned. I don't know the extent, but I know takeout and delivery are open, but that's about it from what
And
I know.
Bill says he types as fast as he can, trying to follow you guys. You know, I say you jump from topic to topic. Well, in fairness, we went from mental
Yeah.
breakdowns to jobs to Milo and Otis. On there, please welcome Elena. Oh, Elena looks ready. How you doing, Elena?
Hi.
Welcome.
Oh, just living the dream. Was at the beach all day. I'm really sunburnt, but it's fine.
Very nice.
Well, you got here in time to join us. We love having you. So, how have you been? Obviously,
doing good.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing good. I'm really excited that I start school soon. So that's awesome.
When do you get to start?
I think so. Not this upcoming Tuesday, but next Tuesday is my first day.
Excellent. What are you going for?
Cosmetology.
That is okay. So that is what you're going into as your main. That's awesome. Have you done anything in cosmetology? Or is it just something you're like, I think I want to do this?
Just something that I'm like, I think I want to do this, and I feel like a lot of it is like being able to talk to people, and that's like my forte. So.
Bill here says the Black Orb is back. If you're going to Canada, go to Cheetahs. Mention my name. If you want to
Cheetahs?
stay in
Talking about Black
Cheetahs, don't mention his name. I haven't been to Cheetahs in years.
I've been to Cheetahs. It was
Across
so
Canada.
fun.
Cheetahs, it was a really good place. Are you talking about the one in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay, there's one in
I've been-
Detroit too. It's not the same.
Oh,
It's
I've never been
related,
there.
but
I think I went when I was 19.
I've never
That's-
been. I've
I
heard good
still-
things about Cheetahs. They got good
that and I
food
used to
stuff.
like Studio 4.
Yes, their
across the
ribs are
border.
ribs are delicious.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I've
the
heard.
breasts and thighs are good too. And Bill says, "Hot damn, put that leg back up." I mean, I could try here. Give me a second. There's
I'm gonna
I'm
swim
still
through it.
engaged.
you're still engaged.
Still
It doesn't
engaged.
stop you from putting the leg up. Once you're married, it probably stops the legs from going up, but not before. It's like- And now, so what else has been going on with you, Elena?
Not a whole lot. Last weekend I was in Colorado. That was a ton of fun.
Nice.
Nice.
Whereabouts?
I was in Breckenridge.
Hmm.
Elevation sickness is no joke.
Wow.
Well, you're up there, yeah.
What is the
Um,
elevation over there?
I
Up
know.
in
Well, it's
Breckenridge.
called the Mile High City for a reason, Denver.
Well-
So
I know Breckenridge has one of the highest peaks in Colorado.
Hmm.
I'm not exactly positive on the actual number, but we got to our Airbnb. I was there for one of my cousin's bachelorette parties, and my little sister and I went. We got to the Airbnb, and as soon as we walked in, I was like, "Yeah, like no problem. We're doing great." And we walk in, we're hanging out, we like have a drink, and we both go upstairs to like put our stuff down in like our bedroom that we're staying in. I'm like, I am out of breath from walking up the stairs.
Yep.
It was not fun. And I was just
That's-
like, because I'm not in shape in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't work out at all. And I like smoke, like, but my little sister works out all the time, and she's like out of breath too. I'm like, okay, cool, it's not just me. We're good.
It's not just you.
No, it's a serious
It's-
thing.
Yeah.
It's everybody too now. I mean, a lot of us. I'm a big guy, but I usually have energy, and I'm finding it hard to do a lot of different things right now, just because we've let our bodies sit for so long.
Right.
You know, without activities to do. Even those who still continue to work for their 8-hour days, but they get off work, and where do they go?
Right.
There's nowhere to go, so they're still sitting there, not moving a lot. I went to Tennessee, and oh my God. Like, I wore myself out so much. This is walks that I used to be able to do no problem, even a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But hey,
Oh,
we're
for
all going
sure.
to get back. We're going to get better. We're going to get stronger.
Better, faster, stronger.
Thinner. Happier.
Bill says your shape
More
is better than the
productive.
other three. Thank you very much for that, Bill. I appreciate that. I do. Yeah. Yeah, Bill likes my shape. It's okay.
He
We
likes
allow
my
anything
shape,
here.
yeah.
If you like my shape, that's good. Round is always good. At least it's my book. So we were. I want to hit back to you, Elena, because you talked to us through the chat for a minute about your restaurant biz. What was your favorite part about doing that?
The people I've met. 1000%.
So, and you said going to cosmetology. How are you handling it now? Are you looking forward to it, or since you've left, has it been hard that you don't have it, or are you more focused
mean-
on the future?
When I first left it, it was really, really hard, especially because like we were in our second shutdown when I like officially left the business. So it's like we were in our shutdown, so I couldn't even go see all the people I wanted to go hang out with. But now I'm mostly excited to start cosmetology school just because like, and since then I've moved across the state. So I'm finally getting to go meet people again and like socialize. And like, that's why I like the restaurant industry to begin with. It's just because I get to meet people and I get to hang out with people and I get to talk to people and like create connections with people.
Yeah,
That
and
makes sense.
well, no, you got to bring it back too. I can't tell you as much as I'm going through all the shit I'm going through right now. Meeting people has helped a lot. Like getting back out there and getting to talk to people again and getting to meet new people has been great. And I've seen a lot of blasts from the past lately too that I haven't seen in 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And that's been nice. And it takes you down that nostalgic road, and I enjoy it. And my most recent thing was actually like last night. Was a fucked up night for me too, because just dealing with it all, and people were buying me shots all night, and one of them had like some vendetta to get me extremely fucked up beyond recognition.
Yeah.
I mean, like every 20 to 30 minutes, he was bringing me a double, but also knowing I'm doing shots with everybody else in the bar continuously.
Right.
You know, and I mean, I worked it out, so I did like 20 shots in
That's
a
a
2-hour
lot.
period, 2-3 hour period. And that was just like, what? Don't look at me like that.
Tuesday.
But the thing I was getting at with it, because usually that wouldn't be a big deal, but when you're dealing with depression, you try not to drink too much.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
definitely.
it did it. I pretty much walked away from the job. I mean, I did it with somebody who could cover
Yeah.
and was willing to at the time, but I'm like, I can't, because you're getting me, this is putting me in a mood, and I'm angry at the world right now. That's why I'm trying to find the escape on there. That was mine. Bill's here, by the way. Bill says, sorry, couldn't be here on time. Longer, it took longer than expected. That happens with those stubborn stains, my friend. I get you. They can be very, very stubborn. It absolutely does. So what else? Anything else on anybody's mind? Anybody in the chat? Anything you want to bring up, talk about that you've been dealing with? We know Jan's been having the medical issues right now. How about you, Bill? Bill, you've got to have some things right now, because we haven't talked to you in a while. That stuff's got to build up. And I know you couldn't get him on the other podcast because you were kicked off. So
Oh yeah, I'm surprised Bill's been very, very tame.
he's tame today. Well, he was even tame, like Elena appeared, and then
Yeah.
he
There
disappeared
was only
because
just the one comment.
I was like, that's Bill. So anything you're looking forward to this summer besides that? Obviously, you're constantly going to the beaches over there, Elena, which is good, and you're getting out and you're taking vacations. What about you two? Anything you got planned to enjoy this kickoff of things opening up? Anything good?
Got a golf trip in August.
Nice.
Nice.
It's
Where,
gonna be rough.
where are you going?
I don't really know. I'm not a good golfer, so I'm letting Josh take care of all of the planning. But we got a big group of guys, and we're going up to I think somewhere here.
All right.
To golf.
The
Very
joy of
nice.
living in Michigan.
Yeah.
Instant map.
Somewhere over here.
somewhere up here. I don't
Traverse
know.
City-ish.
But no, it's going to be rough because Sunday we're doing a golf outing and then driving halfway there, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday golfing. So I'm.
Oh,
gonna
you
be,
poor thing.
I'm going to
Oh
be
my
a
God,
very,
that's gonna be
very
tough.
sore man.
Yeah.
I remember
Golfing is
last
hard.
year when you went to that trip, you came home and you were like, "Oh,
My back. There's muscles in my body that I don't know I have, and they were used.
until a golf weekend."
Well, because you do a lot of rotating, right? And I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
normally rotate. I'm a very stationary person.
Start listening to a lot
Oh,
of
this
chubby
could go so
checkers
many
right
ways.
now. Just do the twists.
Yeah.
You know, just start doing that,
I need
and
to look
and
up
then
some,
you'll build your core.
some twisting exercises.
Exactly.
Bill says FUBAR is great as long as there's a bet and a time limit. Oh yeah, I've drank way more than that, believe me. And it wasn't the fact that I was actually drunk last night. I was definitely, getting drunk, but I wasn't like blackout or anything like that. It was just combination of what I've got going in my head right now. But yeah, on a normal night, I'd be like, "Fuck, more, please."
But
I don't
that's
know
why,
if
like, I'm on the same boat. I can hold my own when I drink.
Yeah.
Sometimes, for the most part. But if I'm in a shitty mood and I have one or two drinks, I'm not even drunk, but I just don't want to be there anymore, and I end up leaving.
Right.
And I'm like, "Yep, okay, time to be done," because I'm either gonna drink way too much
Yeah.
and end up doing something stupid, or B, drink a little bit more and start saying some stupid shit.
Yeah.
I've been there too.
Right.
It's not a fun
And it's-
spot.
I mean, alcohol is a depressant, so if you are in already a shit mood, in a depressed mood, and then you start drinking, it just amplifies all of those thoughts.
Yep, I
Absolutely.
agree. We've had quite a few people on here, so well, not quite a few. We got 6. So somebody, Jan, your options are looking good. We're going to give away that wonderful water bottle right now. One of our lovely ESV water bottles right there. You see it there, your soul's voice, sharing the journey to a happier me, which is something we all should do on a regular basis. So we're going to find out who wins that. We're going to send it out to you. Let's see, shall we?
Drum roll.
Do the drum roll.
Kind of hung up there for a second. I thought it was over. Hunter
Hunter.
Brown.
Hunter gets the water bottle. All right. Well, congratulations, Hunter. Hunter, just get a hold of us. Send an email to support@yoursouldervoice.com with the subject winner. And with your information, we'll get that out to you as soon as possible, Hunter. So thank you and congratulations.
Somebody buy one of those noisemakers from the dollar store for next week. Then we'll have our sound effects.
Yeah, I could probably, it might even have sound. I don't even know.
I gotta look around the room. I'm sure I have something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you,
I know. I
Just set up some musical
I have
stuff.
drums literally behind me.
Yeah, I've
drums are behind you and you can't give me a simple drum roll.
got a banjo.
That's what I should have done. That's
Bill says, "What is golf? Some kind of bird?" Because it's Bill.
There's birdie. I've never gotten a birdie.
I know
don't
there's
what those
eagles.
are. Oh, eagles.
There's
those
birdies.
I don't see any of those. Birdies are. It's
This
rare
is
for
a
me
little
to
off
get a car.
topic. This is a little
I
off
play
topic, but I want to bring it up.
golf.
Go for it.
Last year on your golf trip when you went with Josh and all the guys, the day you got back, I met you at the bar, and it was the day after I went on my first date with Brandon. And I was telling you all about Brandon, so I wanted to bring it up because I think it's a little cute.
Oh yeah,
Very nice.
I remember that. That was hurting still.
Oh yeah, you were in a lot of pain.
Well, the last day I couldn't even hit a golf ball until about the 4th hole. My back tightened up and I could not move. I was just like, oh god, no, not gonna happen.
That's not.
So how many rounds did you play in a weekend?
So we played. The last time we did a round on Sunday.
And full
I'll get
18?
that in one
Full
second,
18
Bill.
on Sunday. We did 18 followed by a 9-hole par 3 on Monday, 2 18s Tuesday and then 18 Wednesday.
Fuck that.
I don't
Fuck
even
that.
golf, and I'm only 24, and I can't even fathom that.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, it was a great time.
I like golf, but damn.
It was a
Bill
great
says he
time.
quit. Bill, you're going to win something in time. Don't quit. You're going to win something, I promise. The other Bill responded to, he was talking about the drinking thing. It's called the Jekyll Hyde effect, which it is. And when your brain is not right or you're going through things, alcohol brings that out in the worst way. That's why it's always knowing if you are a drinker and you do drink, knowing when and how and the appropriate way to do it. It's important.
It's very easy to tell a person's sort of, inner lurkings with alcohol.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Jan says she'd never gotten into drinking, which is probably good because every morning I would walk out into the kitchen and beer bottles galore from my stepdad smelled like a brewery. My stepdad drank a lot too, and I was around a lot of drinkers periodically growing up. And I know that smell. They were kind of my lesson teachers on drinking. Who knew? I mean, like I said, fiance was hit by a drunk driver, and yet I got in the bar business. But it is. But you see it all the time. You see people that don't know how to take it and do it responsibly or don't do it responsibly. But your mindset, you're the only one who knows that. So you have to know your limit pre-hand. Bill says, I don't have time. I am old. LOL. I thought you were 29, Bill.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you old or are you not old?
I can't.
And Bill says he can't golf because he kills people.
Like literally, or
Like by hitting them with the ball, or
Oh,
just
okay.
get so angry from, the people in
Being
front
bad
of
at
you.
golfing.
Or you just get really pissed because you can't get in the fucking hole, so you slug your club at somebody. I don't know.
You
like
think
Happy Gilmore.
most people have a club speed of 80, 90 miles an hour, and that golf ball's really little. So it's going really fast.
Golf is definitely a dangerous sport. People just don't see it.
Especially for gophers.
True. Oh my God, Caddyshack. I love that movie.
That is a great movie.
Oh, because of his aim, he kills people. Okay. That will definitely do it. Got to be careful with that golf ball. That thing does
Just
last.
yell 4.
Nancy said. Yeah, that does the trick. Okay, do you actually yell 4?
Yes, that's
Yes, you
literally
have to.
you
You have
yell
to, yeah.
4 when the ball's coming at somebody. If you hit the ball and you see it going towards someone, you yell 4 because that's like, hey, look out.
But
the
I mean,
ball's coming at you.
when they usually say it, they say 4 as they're taking their swing.
No.
So that's not the most common. I don't really golf
People who
much.
say 4 as they're taking a swing do it just to be funny.
Okay.
Because they,
Yeah.
I don't know where this is going, so just keep your eyes out.
I would have an issue because every time I've never done actual golfing, but I've been like top golf, and I got bad eyes. The second the golf ball leaves where it was already, I don't know where the fuck it went anymore.
It's because you're not swinging right. I learned that because I had the same problem, and then I figured out kind of, sort of how to swing, and you can
Okay.
find it. Yeah, it's weird.
I think
Wow.
this will be the summer where I try to golf. Like ready to attempt it.
I went to the driving range today, and I was very happy with how I did.
Mine always
I
goes
saw all
up
of 'em.
and zoom, like that.
Back to the alcohol. Bill says heavy alcohol breath is awful when you aren't drinking. They are. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. That's why I drink so much.
Yeah,
Just
I
to
can't
deal with-
relate. I'm always the drunk one.
No, it is terrible though, and you can smell it so
really
bad.
bad.
I mean, it's no different than being a smoker and a non-smoker.
Yeah.
Too,
Oh, yeah.
smelling it on them.
Of course.
Bill
I've
says
had
he's
plenty
now
of
30.
partners.
I missed your birthday, Bill.
Happy
I'm so
birthday.
sorry. Happy
You're old.
birthday.
Happy
30,
belated,
then-
Bill.
I'm old, and I don't like that.
You are old. All right. I was like, 30, you're old after 25. That's pretty much it. It's all downhill.
Keith, I'm not.
Don't
old
tell me
until I
that. I'll
feel
be
old.
25 this year.
25 was
you're
a rough
less than a year
year.
away from being old. That's
25 was
awesome.
a
Just
rough
a
year.
baby.
Jan says, the kids gave me a retirement birthday party almost 2 years ago. Jello shots, pudding shots, and strawberry daiquiris. Had one shot and drank half the daiquiri, felt it and said, no more, I'm good. If you're
I
not a
wish that-
drinker, that's probably an interesting combo there. Because you probably had likely 3 or 4 different types of liquor in there, and you're not a drinker, so that probably hit. Is that all you had?
Brave.
Her birthday, you'll be 68 in August. Well, happy birthday coming up to you, Janet. we'll have to have you on here, and maybe I'll do a special little dance for you that I'm known for. I was like,
I've still never got Keith's birthday dance, and I'm like pretty pissed about it.
yeah,
especially
you
if
missed
you're
out.
about to leave. Especially if you're about to leave the business, like I'm fucked.
He can come to your house and give you a personal dance.
Private dancer.
I don't know.
Let me
if
know when
he's
Brandon's
gonna
out of
come
town.
when it happens. Brandon's out of town every other
You
weekend.
just pay him. You say,
It's
"Hey,
worth the drive, yeah.
You
I'm
pay him.
fine with that.
Pay him the gas money and a little bit, for food and drinks, and he'll come
I've
give you a birthday
actually been wanting to ask Keith if he will perform at my bachelorette party.
dance. Oh.
Of course.
I'm thinking sometime in August, but we'll be in touch.
Well, of course. Again, I charge by the pound, but yes. All right.
English pounds.
Bill says his daughter could smell the alcohol coming out of the skin, and that's the other thing with alcoholics, or people not even alcoholics, just people who drink a lot. It does. It sweats out your pores, and it smells awful.
Yeah.
Again, that's why you drink in the morning, so you don't smell it.
Yeah.
For me, but no. In seriousness, it's really nobody realizes the sense they give off with the stuff they do a lot of times, and especially when it comes to cigarettes and alcohol and even marijuana. They don't realize. Don't even shake your head like that shit over there. I see you, Anthony.
I'm not shaking my head.
I'm like, even marijuana. You're like, well, yeah, not me.
Oh no, I don't mess around with that. That's bad.
The devil's lettuce.
No, I feel like even with people's own like personal body odor, like you don't know that you smell until someone's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you stink."
Ooh, you got me a gift, right, guard?
Yeah.
Take the hint.
I wish that we could all smell ourselves because like there have been times where like I'll like be doing something, I'll have to grab something like, "Ooh, I'm a little funky." You know?
but you also have to care, though.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, right.
But some
there's
people don't. I listen to people sometimes come in and they'll say like, I haven't even showered in 2 days or something, but they think they're fine. You're like, yeah, I know. I know you haven't showered.
I know
in
you
2
haven't
days.
showered.
Smell you from here, bud.
It's no secret. So you probably might want to do that before coming out and telling me about it.
Right.
When I was working in Germany, there was a guy that had like a 6-foot radius of stench.
Oh.
Right? And like no matter, legitimately, if the bay door was open and there was a draft, the whole shop would reek.
It will go. Oh wow.
Oh.
He just it didn't bother him. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He knew about it. They all told
Because
him
you
about it.
can't
He just
smell
didn't.
yourself.
Right.
He knew
Bec-
about it, but he didn't.
He
care.
knows about it, but doesn't think it's as
Oh.
bad as it is. That's the
Oh,
thing
that's
too.
awful.
Right.
The guys told him.
Because he's like, it's not that bad. I don't know what the problem is,
He
probably,
would
and that's why
also
they don't
eat
think
his
about it.
scabs.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Taking
okay,
it
that guy's
as-
just fucked up then. Forget
That was
anything
just
else.
Yeah, that guy
strange.
just
Let's
person.
talk about Milo and Otis again.
Boy, it's
Sorry to
dark,
take it
dark
there.
holes here. Palmer Park, Bill says Palmer Park, golfing with Tommy Hearns. He didn't say 4. Then I teed off and didn't say anything and hit a guy in the head that was walking out from under a tree. We all ran. Is that true, Bill? Is that honestly true? I believe you, actually.
You're not
'Cause
supposed to hit the ball if you could hit somebody. You gotta
yeah,
wait till
this
it's
is Bill.
clear.
Maybe that's why he hit the ball. Janet said she doesn't smoke weed either, becomes paranoid. That's my thing with a lot of drugs. I don't like the paranoia. I don't like the not being in control thing.
You're just
Yeah.
smoking the wrong stuff.
That's anybody addicted to weed is going to tell you that.
I'm not addicted.
no.
I haven't smoked in like 4 months, dude.
He's in recovery.
No, I'm just trying to be a good boy for a little bit. It's
It is.
No, I know.
It is ironic that like I quit. Like probably 4 or 5 years ago at this point, and now that I've quit, it's just fucking everywhere. It is absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too. It's like, so if you do have addiction, and maybe this is a good question for everybody out there, with all of the commercials for online gambling coming out now that sportsbook legalization has gone full force, as well as
I'll get back to that, Bill.
legalization of marijuana, has that made it harder for anybody who sort of struggles with those things? Because it's like if you had a commercial about crack and you're like, hey, come and get this crack. It's great crack. And then at the very end, it's like, if you have addiction problems, please call 1-8 such and such. Don't do crack. But
Do
we're going to
crack
give you
responsibly.
right. Do crack responsibly. We're going to give you a free gift certificate and free crack and all this stuff. Enjoy the crack. Come back for multiple cracks, like VIP crack.
We got multiple cracks.
You got all the cracks here.
You know, it's like, what the fuck? But that's what because I keep hearing the online gambling going on every commercial, like every 5 minutes on the radio. And I was just thinking about the effects that might have on someone who actually has a gambling issue.
Oh, it's gonna fuck them all up.
Yeah.
But it was no different with like when weed came out too. People who smoked on occasion, suddenly every store started popping up when it was legalized. Every store is now popping up everywhere. Our vapes, our dispensaries, and all that are just everywhere now. As
Everywhere.
people get on it. A lot of people are fear it's going to go away too.
Morganti's is a dispensary now.
Wow, that was like the store we grew up right
Yeah.
around the block from. Okay, so going back here, missed some of it. Bill says, by the way, his story was true. He used to play basketball with Tommy Hearns and Milt McCrory, and sometimes even Caveman Lee. You got to write a book, Bill. I'll like just take an episode and read it on the air because you got some fascinating stuff. That is so cool. Jan says you're funny, by the way. He is our comic relief. But a lot of things, what's funny about Bill is most of the stuff that he says is funny, but it's true. Like, he has a very an amazing past. And going back to even further, he says, oh my God, people weren't bathing as much during COVID. And that was the other thing, too. And guilty as well. You know, you didn't have to. You didn't have anywhere to go. But if you went somewhere, you did. And that was, I think, the thing
Hopefully.
people forgot about. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And
You should
would
have.
think with a pandemic where it's like hygiene and be clean, if anything, people would bathe more
Right.
and wash
Well,
their
Anthony, you
hands
were
You would
and-
hope.
But if you're
Yeah,
stuck
you
in
were
your own
talking about our
home, I
COVID
get it.
In our COVID episode, Anthony was even talking about how like he was still going into the bathroom and watching people not wash their hands.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro,
Nasty motherfuckers.
Yeah.
you're gross.
I send people
Nasty.
back. They can't touch my mic unless they wash their hands. I better see your hands. I don't really want to see your hands dripping, but you better at least be doing this like you just washed them.
Yeah, like some of
Well,
this.
especially
Yeah.
in bars and restaurants now, there's hand sanitizer every 6 feet.
Yeah.
There is.
Everywhere you look, you can find hand sanitizer.
That's a hotter commodity than Jack Daniels right now. It's just the hand sanitizer everywhere.
Yeah.
The ironic thing too is it seems like it's the more handsome people, in my experience, like who
I
care
agree.
even less.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
It's the
they
attractive
look
people.
right. Like they
Their looks make them excused.
exactly.
It's that
It's
ego
gross.
thing.
It's
within-
weird.
It is.
That's why
It's
I
gross.
wash my hands all the time.
Bill Pace said I gave a fellow worker a ride home and had to actually hang his head out the window during that ride. You don't think did he say anything? Like when you did that, did he get the hint? I mean, you're like driving like, oh no, whatever. Just curious. Bill also says the most dispensary, Bill McLean, the most dispensaries in 2 square mile area is Hazel Park, Michigan.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that was the most in 2 square mile area. I don't know if it's actually the most or just seems that way, but
The dispensary by my house is like the bougiest thing on the planet. Like it looks like an Apple store.
Dude, dispensaries are weird.
They're super
Like,
weird.
cool.
Yeah.
Super
Like,
cool.
I had to go into one and see because I was like, you know what? We got to see what's going on. I went into one with my brother and I walked in. I'm like, huh, this is very neat and it's very like
Well, I also-
very professional. You wouldn't think for because it's weed,
Right.
so
Right.
you're like, oh, a bunch of stoners, but no, they're all like prim and proper and everything's all.
They have like
nice.
collars
Like,
on.
oh yeah, it's really weird. It was a very strange day.
But at this time, at this point in time, it's like it's very posh, when they set up
Yeah.
these things. So, because when you go to microbreweries, it's sort of the same thing, but a
Oh, absolutely.
little less pretentious, probably,
Yeah.
than a
But
weed
like
store,
a
right?
dispensary
You think?
is so
Yeah.
pretentious and it shouldn't be because stoners are not pretentious.
Right.
It's like a fancy wine store.
If I went in, I'd be like, does it have
hints
seeds?
of-
No.
I mean,
Okay.
did you
Grass
ever think there
and-
was going to be the high class posh group of stoners
No.
like frequenting these
Sure.
places?
Well, no. When I hear stoner, I think Cheech and Chong and like the hey, man.
Right, right.
Yeah.
bro. But
I mean,
now
this
it's like,
literally brought the
yes,
people out of the woodwork, but not the people you thought were going to come out of it.
These terpenes give off a very earthy texture and flavor,
Right.
with a hint of citrus and lemon.
But does it get
Brandon
me
and I were
high?
talking about it earlier.
Yes. Oh, I'll take it.
guys
Bag
wanna
it.
get
Put it in a bag.
But Brandon and I were talking about it earlier while we were at the beach. There were a couple of people there smoking some weed, and like we'd get a whiff every once in a while and be like, like it smells all good.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and it's like I've never met a stoner who was problematic.
False.
I can't say that's not true. I definitely have.
Well, like the argument or like the example that was brought up, it's like you go to a bar and people get too drunk and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight you," and like blah blah blah. You go to a bar and someone's just stoned out of their mind. They're like, "Dude, let's just like split some mozzarella sticks." Like I've never
True.
seen an angry.
But the problem
stoner.
is with a stoner, the
Yeah.
mozzarella sticks they split ended up being on someone else's table.
That's fair.
They don't order them.
where's
Just
my
like,
ranch?
dude, those could be our mozzarella sticks.
Bro, those look so good right now.
So I guess I should.
wish
rephrase
we
You
that.
gonna
I've
eat
never-
those?
I've never seen an angry stoned person. Like someone that was just high from smoking weed, not on other things. That was just like mad.
Yeah.
True. I don't see that very often. I have seen it, but it's easy to win the
it's
fights. Well, it's easy to win fights with them. You just like throw something, they're distracted, and you're done.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
It's like,
yeah.
ooh,
Squirrel. Squirrel.
squirrel effect.
You do one of these, and
Yeah.
the conversation's
Look,
over.
man. It's a unicorn.
How are you doing that?
What? Where? Do this
It's a pterodactyl.
something.
Bill. Oh my god, it sounds like we're all stoned. Okay, Bill says, I thought it was totally stupid to have to remind people to wash their hands, which it was, and you still are going to have to. That's not going away. And the other Bill, the King says actual sales of hand sanitizers and wipes have dropped 75%, which they did. Well,
Good.
The whole reason they were up, actually, was because people were hoarding them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Well, and the
insane to
sales-
hold them.
Dropping 75%. Is that from pandemic sales or from original sales?
Yeah, I would say from
'Cause
pandemic.
If
so-
that's
Yeah.
from pre-pandemic, that's still very high.
That's very high if it's pre-pandemic. Bill McLean also says actually 4 big ones, 2 small ones. The dispensaries in Hazel Park, that little tiny area. Jan says she misses the Dream Cruise. Went to the first one. We lived in Ferndale, right off the drag. Jan, she lives in Texas now, and she used to be here. Yeah, the Woodward Dream Cruise. I haven't liked it in years. I used to love the Woodward Dream Cruise. You know, it was really cool. You got to see all these old cars and stuff, and now it's just commercial, and it's weird. You know, I'm not a fan of it anymore. I don't think you see as many cars. More than anything, you see traffic, and you're stuck in that same spot for so long, you don't get to see a lot.
Dog.
Okay.
Squirrel.
Hey guys.
The King says different areas with stoners' problems are always there until you calm them down or say bye. But it's easy to do with stoners because you can say bye and walk away, and half the time they'll keep talking, and they won't actually notice you left.
Yeah.
So they don't chase you down or anything. They just keep talking.
Wouldn't that
Jan's-
be funny if he just started taking a big deuce right there? Thank you for joining us, Nature Cam.
Right. Stop the hand thing, Anthony. What?
When I'm talking about fighting up the stoners, you
Yeah.
just move your hands and crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. Let's call
Debbie,
it.
how you doing? Good to hear from you. She says she's always said God put weed on earth so we can all get along. Yeah, that's probably there's probably something very legitimate with that. It
Get into an
does.
argument with somebody like, look, dude, let's just smoke a joint.
And
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
will be
This
fine.
out.
And get some mozzarella
And
sticks.
by the time you're done with it, you're like, why were we fighting?
Exactly.
This stuff's really good.
Bill says he
If
had a stoner
everyone
talking.
if everyone in our country smoked weed regularly, we would not have as many problems as we do now.
I think
I
we'd
don't know
have
about-
different.
Our
I think
problems
we'd
would
have
shift.
different
Our
problems.
problems would shift, but our problems wouldn't be because of like, oh, fuck you because of this, fuck you because of this. It'd be like,
Well, no,
okay,
we'd have the
guys.
problems, but all problems could be stopped with a taco.
Yeah.
Like you just wave a taco and you're good. Like,
I've met some people
Everyone
that
in the
legitimately
world
can't
smoke
smoke
weed.
because they get fucking batshit crazy.
Some people do. I do know that too.
Like, they flip the fuck out and start tripping balls like they're on some LSD or some shit, right? Like, seeing pictures and stuff. I'm like, you literally just smoked a hit of a joint and you're
Like, calm down.
tripping balls
We-
right now. That's not that bad.
Right.
Weed has changed so much though from when I was growing up. It's so different from like when I was a kid. There was a fun aspect to weed that I think is lost. There was a fun aspect to candy bars when hi.
Okay.
That it's just I think it lost. I see too many people that are just like and they don't talk, they don't have fun, they're not as creative a lot of times. It's not the same when I smoke around a group of people now. I usually see a bunch of people just sitting there not saying a word for hours. We came up with crazy shit back in my day. We didn't remember it, but we came up with it. We have the drawings to prove it.
Because that's
Now
when we were
people
laced
smoke
with
to-
LSD.
Well, no, but back then you didn't smoke to get fucking blown out of your mind. Nowadays,
smoked to-
people are
yeah.
like, let's do 5 dabs and forget who we are.
Right.
Because that's
Well-
cool.
There's a time
it's
and
like,
place for
no.
Like Bill said, I mean, Bill gave a good example when he said Stoner was talking just to the back of his head for so long. And back when I was a kid, or younger, that would have still happened. But the guy with the back of the head said, "Hey, so what are you doing?" And it would talk back to him and shit. Like, we would have so much fun with it instead of just some guy not realizing it. That's what he's talking to.
Did you see that trend about people that are letting meat spoil and just sit out for years to the point they'll eat it years later in order to get high?
What?
Yes.
That's a lot of fucking work.
What's time for that?
right. Like, what kind of buzz is that going to produce that something else on the market isn't?
And if you're making meat, if you're putting meat out for that long
Yeah.
and you're getting high, it's probably because it's toxic.
Exactly. Absolutely,
Probably
because
killing
it's
you a
toxic.
little
Yeah.
bit inside.
Yeah.
This much.
Bill's asking, how many dogs do you have, Elena?
Oh, I have 2. That's the little one's Franklin and the big one's Tucker.
Uh-huh.
Very
They're
cute.
good boys.
They are cute. I
Franklin's
gotta,
still
I
a
gotta.
crackhead. He turns
Before I-
1 in a couple weeks.
Before I get to Bill's other comment, Deborah said there would be no wars, which is true. And again, Louis Anderson, I think, said it best. I don't know if everybody ever watched Louis Anderson's. Like, during the middle of a war, especially if they were high, you just drop M&Ms on them. Or something. Because no matter what, even in the middle of a fight, like when you're holding a gun against somebody, M&Ms come down, you go, what the hell is this?
See, I think
Dude, it's M&Ms!
Skittles.
or
Or Reese Pieces.
but
or something.
Starburst would work better because then they're going to start fidgeting with the wrappers.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta unwrap
Tootsie
them.
Rolls.
It's
Exactly.
Oh.
Tootsie Rolls will already send their cylinders, so you can make a Tootsie Roll.
But they're getting they got to get their nails out for
Yeah.
the Starburst. With
Oh,
Tootsie Rolls,
true.
just
Tootsie
kinda
Rolls,
like this.
pull 'em, yeah. Starburst,
How to
you
fuck
actually
up a
gotta-
stoner.
all right, you're
was
buying you're buying plenty of time with Starburst wrappers.
I have a question for Bill on his comment here. That I hate forgetting what I was talking or laughing about. That's obviously happened to everybody probably at some point or another.
That's half the fun.
You have, but do you in your head think you're the only one that actually forgot and try to fake your way through it like you know what's going on?
Oh yeah.
That's like constantly in mine. I don't think anybody ever knew what was going on, but I'm constantly like faking my way through. I was like, I don't remember the conversation. Just listen closely. Ooh, that light's bright over there. Hold on. And I lose it. Mm-hmm. What about you, Anthony? Does that happen? How? Because you smoke a lot more too. So, or used to.
I don't smoke a lot.
Used
Used
to.
to.
Back
Is
in
what
my
I
day,
said.
Back in my day, 3 weeks ago.
No, it's been a minute.
What was your goal when you used to smoke?
I would literally,
Was-
if I smoked, it was a hit or two at a time, just to take the edge off.
Did you ever smoke just for the humor and to see what the fuck would happen with your friends, like younger?
Well, of course, when I was 18, we used to hotbox my car.
Oh my god,
We
I
all
forgot
did
about
that.
that.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, and there was one day, one of the kids, he couldn't smoke because he got in trouble. So he was sitting outside in the garage, and I pulled my car into the garage, and we were smoking. And he pretty much kept track on how much smoke was in the car. And he would lose, he'd say, okay, I lost vision of the guys in that side, and now I can't see anyone inside the car. And then we decided, okay, it's probably a good time to get out. So then we all got out of the car, and it looked like my car was on fire.
Of course.
Beside the point. And then we decided to order Jet's Pizza. Mm-hmm. But instead of getting
good choice.
pizza, there was 5 of us, and we each got our own large jet bread. So we literally placed a delivery order from Jets for 5 large jet breads.
Yeah.
No pizza.
All right.
And
This
you know
guy
they
showed
got
up
that
and-
order,
oh.
and they were like, they're stoned.
Of course. Well, and at the time, the Jets there, it was all a bunch of like band people that had bands and would go on tours and stuff. So they knew exactly the life.
Yep.
But yeah,
Bill-
no, it was a good time.
Bill says brain damage from the bad meat. If you're eating that bad meat, you already have brain damage.
Yeah. I mean,
That's why you feel like you're getting high.
like who invented
Just the
that?
brain damage.
Like some asshole was just walking down the street and said, "Oh, meat on the ground. I'll eat that." And got high
Yeah.
and was like, "I'm gonna blog about this."
Jan says, one of my daughters had an apartment, the dryer didn't work, so she and the guys that lived with her hung their jeans, etc. from the ceiling fan. They said pot ingenuity.
You can definitely MacGyver some
Oh,
shit.
God.
I mean, normally the pot ingenuity comes in on ways to smoke pot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you can
Because
when you
I
can turn a
have-
bottle cap and a rubber band into a bong. That's
Oh, yeah.
It's like, so we have the weed, but we don't have anything to smoke it in. Look around.
What
let's
can
make
we
this
do?
work. Yeah. Apple.
First thing is
I
a
have-
can or a bottle.
I have a really funny story. So there was like a long period of time. This is like right when I was still in high school and like right when I got out of high school, where my mom would get super drunk and then be like, "Hey, I have some weed I want to smoke, but I don't have anything to smoke it out of." And I'd make her bowls. Like I made one out of a peach, apple, like all the fruits. And then the next morning, I'd be like, "Well, Mom, you smoke weed." And she'd be like, "I don't smoke weed." Like she'd forget that I helped her smoke the weed. So up until about a year ago, my mom was still like, "No, I don't smoke weed." Like if me and my sisters were around, we're like, "Mom, we help you smoke it. We know you smoke
Right.
weed."
No, that never happened.
Exactly. It's like, no,
I-
that literally didn't happen.
A lot of pot smokers today, at least the younger generation, they've lost that ingenuity, that pot ingenuity in trying to figure
Oh,
that
I
shit
totally
out.
agree. Yeah.
Because I literally had some friends over one time, and they were all in their early 20s, and they had the weed, and they didn't have any smoke, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding right now? Like, we can't.
We
I
can
have
make,
nothing
like,
to smoke
8
out of. We
We
can't.
can make like 8 bowls
I'm like-
right now.
You got aluminum foil.
I got foil in the
You got a
cabinet. I've got
Pringles can,
exactly.
You got a fucking Coke bottle. What are we dealing with? Let's do this.
This could be a bong. I mean, hell, if you're really high, this little piece of cardboard could be a bong.
got
You
a
can make
2
it.
liter in a bathtub.
Oh my god.
The first time I ever smoked weed was out of a water bottle. Like,
Yeah, and they're all looking like, huh? And I'm like, here, and I just gave them a pin, you know, real quick. I said, here, just do that really quick, and they're like, doesn't work. I'm like, oh my fuck, smoke.
Kids, I swear, kids are getting dumber and dumber.
They
I
are.
agree.
And it's not necessarily dumber. It's just like they just don't want to try. If it's not,
I think it's the
there,
water
They
glass
don't
theory.
use their
able,
resources.
right? Like if I said, oh, you need to go find that thing, oh, but where, why?
How?
Yeah.
It's why isn't it in my hand right now? I need it. Why isn't it in my hand?
Everything has to be delivered to them.
Yeah.
It's the water cup theory, I think it is, because kids, in a sense, are way smarter than we ever were in certain aspects of life, especially when it
Yes.
comes to technology
Yeah.
and stuff. But I think it's like this glass, and you fill it up. Well, if you keep adding this new stuff to it, basic things like turning doorknobs disappears.
Right.
You know, and they can't remember basic functions or learn to do common things. Everything is their tech world now, and they
And if-
lose that.
And if you're heavily reliant on things that do things for you, like delivery of groceries and like, you know, all of your smart house apps and things like that.
Forget to turn off a light switch because you have
Right.
Alexa.
Or you,
Yeah, that's
Right,
what I
you
mean.
burn your
Basic
house-
functions.
you burn your house down because you are not programmed to remember if you left your oven on.
I mean, back in my day, we burned our house down because we lit gasoline fires in the garage. You know, we had legitimate reasons to do such things.
Or fell asleep with a cigarette in your hand because you were too drunk.
Also,
Right.
that was a frequent one. That just usually ended up a big hole in my shirt or blanket, typically. Bill says he was always too high to tell what. Wow, marijuana really took over this conversation. Too high to tell what's happening between other people's ears. Debbie says going to the brain damage thing with the eating meat. Same thing with the guy who first licked a frog. Also, definitely brain damaged. Debbie's like toilet paper roll, tinfoil, and toothpick. Absolutely been down that road.
There's
Banana
always
Bong
options.
says, yeah.
Banana.
Oh my God! I used my chemistry shot to make a smoking apparatus, and that was put to good use. That was definitely put to good use.
Oh yeah,
You know, smoking apparatus sounds a lot better than bong.
It does.
It does.
it does.
It's-
My favorite one I made was
still
a
bomb.
watermelon because it was so big, and then you just get to eat the whole juicy watermelon once you're high, and there's like enough to share, you know.
Oh, that's interesting.
We made our own flavored weed at that time. Jan says, my son went from weird beer to the hard drugs. It's paying the price for 2 years clean. Well, I'm glad he got clean on that. People say weed's a gateway drug. I don't always think that is. I think it can be. It depends on what you love about it. If you love
I
the...
And your mindset. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
if you're prone to addiction, then you're definitely, yeah. But, yeah.
I think back in the day
It's
it was a
individual.
lot more than it is now that it's legal. Right? Because back in the day you had to go to some shady people to get some weed, and they were also selling every
Other
other drug
things.
you wanted.
Well, for me, back in the day is even more different. Back in the day, most of the stuff wasn't going to kill you. You
My
didn't
issue-
have some of the same stuff out that you have now. You know, it's 10 years between us.
It's
And,
so strong nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It
And-
is so strong.
Made with so many terrible things inside of it that actually, like they're lacing the weed with what's fentanyl and certain
Well,
places
that's
have.
the
Not
st-
the common
that's not
stuff,
the
but that's
stuff-
what was
right.
going on.
Not the
That's
stuff
what was
that-
going on. Yeah,
Right.
Well, yeah, and you
not the legal aspect of it. I'm
Yeah.
saying, you know,
Back in
that
the day.
when it was considered the gateway drugs, and when it
Yeah.
would lead you to other stuff. Yeah,
Well, you'd have a guy who sells weed and coke, and he'd sprinkle some coke on the weed and then give it to you, and then say, "Oh, you like that feeling? This will do you really good."
right.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you're addicted to coke.
Exactly.
Yeah, or worse. Which unfortunately, that's a bad thing, and that's where your friends can come and help you get out
Multiple
of that. 'cause
cracks.
Yes,
All the cracks.
All the
the
cracks.
cracks.
All the cracks. I'm glad he's clean, by the way. I want to say that to you, Jen. I really am glad he's clean. And keep after him. Keep loving him. Yeah, that's what most people in those situations need more than anything. Bill Pace says he looked at brownies a whole different way back then. We all did. Those were the good brownies, too. We didn't have oil. We actually had to use weed. Like, it was-
I never made brownies.
Can't do those.
I've made a lot of different things, but I've never made brownies.
it's really easy to do, especially now with the dispensaries. You can just buy the oil and add it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've made chicken piccata and gotten funds from it, right? So like, I've made other things. I do know how.
We
to
were
do
talking
that.
about the high-class weed smokers here, and you're serving chicken piccata laced with marijuana.
Hey,
Like,
you know, I had.
I
had
bet it
some
was so
fancy
good
moments.
too.
It was delicious, but
did you get the
bad thing-
munchies right after, though?
I was just about to say. So I had, you know, a serving, and then I'm like, God, that was really good. Fuck, I'm hungry. All I have is this chicken piccata that I made, but it's just gonna worsen everything.
Right, yeah.
Fucking had another piece of chicken. Oh, it was beautiful.
White Rhino is a killer, says Bill. Okay, I'm starting to realize, even people I didn't expect, I think our show appeals to potheads.
All right.
We should do a whole weed show.
Well, the thing is, a lot.
Yeah,
you'd be
we'll do one.
Surprised with how many people do smoke or have smoked in their lifetime.
Of course.
Right.
Tip from Amsterdam,
One of
if
the
you get too high on pot, eat sugary treats.
Milk is another one.
Oh,
Milk?
I hate milk.
It doesn't make sense, but milk.
Does
I
about
thought,
it.
like, when you're high on pot, don't you naturally start eating sugary treats?
Yeah, I thought that was
It's
the whole
mostly
gig.
salty for me.
Or salty, junk food, one way or another.
So I'm normally like a salty snack
M&Ms.
person, but when I'm high, I want like ice cream. Like I want sugary shit when I'm high. But it's probably because like naturally when I'm not high, I don't want sugary stuff. So I don't know.
That was actually in the brochure from Amsterdam, she says. So there's like a brochure on getting high in Amsterdam?
Well, Amsterdam's kind of the world.
Yeah,
capital of-
Yeah, no, I know it is. I didn't know they handed pamphlets out though. Like,
That's one place I haven't been over in Europe. I've only stopped through airports, and I hoped every time I'd have a layover for a
are
day.
you sure you didn't go through there and just don't remember it?
No, I'm very aware.
I was like,
Yeah, unfortunately, I had the chance to go there when I was in Europe, like for fun on a weekend, but I decided to go to Milan instead.
that sounds. I mean, maybe kind of somewhat is fun.
I remembered all of it.
Well, that's a good thing. So yeah, that made it worthwhile. Okay.
I figured if I went to Amsterdam, I probably wouldn't remember the night, so it would have been a good time, but it wouldn't have been very memorable, if that makes sense.
That does make sense actually.
They don't.
All right, this has been definitely an interesting show, a very enjoyable show. We definitely went to some depths at some points, and we talked about just having fun. And we'll probably do a show. We actually have a show about partying coming up at some point in the party memories. So we'll hit some of our adventures through the greenery during that period. But some people know I wanted to bring this up because this is, of course, Passive Life. We put the show on hiatus. I had a wedding down in Tennessee to do, and after I was about to leave the wedding, I was like, I'm in Tennessee. I may not have a lot of money, but I just got paid for a wedding, and I'm going to stay and I'm going to enjoy it. And I spent 6 days in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, which was a great time. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people forget to enjoy life in periods. They're stuck. I spent all the money I made. I came home broke. And that's the reason a lot of people don't take their breaks and vacations, because they can't afford it. But if you get sick, you're going to lose work, and you're going to lose money, and you're going to be home for that period. But I can't tell you one time that I, right now, can think back and said, I'm still miserable because I was sick and lost that money. The money will always be replaced, but the memories of a vacation and getting away are irreplaceable. And they're the things that give you a spark in life. They're the things that give you motivation to move forward. You have to remember how important it is to leave the mundane, humdrum life existence you have every once in a while and enjoy what you're doing. Don't use the excuse, I can't get off work. Work is not supposed to be life. Take the break. Don't say you can't afford it, because you will recover that money. You may struggle for 2 weeks, but you've got a lifetime of memories now, of good times. Your mood will change. Your happiness will increase. Everything you do will become better in your life, and it will pull you away from all the drama that has been pulling you down for so long. If you don't take those moments, you start to really spiral into deep depressions. You start to think that nothing gets better. You start to think work is all there is. It's not. You as an individual deserve happiness. You deserve something. Your family does. If anybody ever says you don't matter, you do. Take those moments for you. You will get through it, but the memories are priceless. If you're not working for any other reason than to work, then why are you even here? You're working to be able to enjoy life further and to provide something for your family. So get out there and never say this is too much and I can't do it. Enjoy life. I don't care if you take a trip to another city for a night or you take a week, 2 weeks to Vegas. Just make that decision and do it. Nothing's holding you back except for yourself. You can save, you can do it, you can take that break. Some things are cheap, some things are expensive. But you will feel better in the long run. You matter, love yourself, you deserve happiness, and you deserve everything that can come to you in a good way. So please always remember, take care of you, take care of your family, and take care of enjoying life instead of just being there for it. And I want to hit a comment before we finish out. Debbie says when she was getting ready to leave, she had a friend who went annually, who gave me the brochure for Amsterdam. I just didn't know they had a brochure about it. I thought that was funny. And Bill says, I don't smoke, but I know if you smoke and want to level out, just fall down some stairs. Okay, not the best advice. We're going to strike that from the record right now. But anyway, this has been our open forum show. I've had a great time. I hope you have too. It was nice to be back on here. I missed you all. I missed doing this. I'm glad we're back. We do not have a topic show coming up this coming Wednesday. Our topic shows will return on the 16th. We do have another open forum coming the following Sunday, though, a week from today. We do have another open forum on the 13th. So that'll be good right there. Congratulations to Hunter for winning that wonderful water bottle. That's awesome. Don't forget you can chat with us anytime. You can go to our website if you want. Join us, turning into a social media network. So just join on there, talk about any problems you have. Anybody will be happy to help you. Everybody there wants to be there to help each other, and that includes you. So please join us to be a part of YourShoulderVoice.com. Like, share, subscribe, and follow Your Shoulder Voice on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and something else on there that I forgot. Facebook, that's the one. All right. And
Can
we'll be
people
there
still
for you.
talk to us on the website anonymously?
Yes,
Okay.
they still can. That feature will actually disappear shortly. However, you will be able to post on the website. You can already, even if you're logged in, you can post anonymously.
Oh, okay.
So that'll open it up for anybody to help you, but you can also message somebody. All of our shoulders can be messaged through the website as well, independently. So if you want to talk to anybody, you can feel free to message them, and they'll talk to you as well. And you can still, of course, use Facebook. Thank you, for everybody, for being here. Anthony, always good having you. That was fun. We really brought out the talkative Anthony when we brought out the marijuana, so that was awesome. Nice to see that.
Never happened again.
No, it will. It totally will. Gabe, you are incredible as always.
I'm all right.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just being nice. You're always fun, you're energetic, and you definitely know how to steer us in a different direction with the poor animal cruelty
Yes.
of Milo and Otis. It's really hard to talk about because there was a lot of bad stuff that happened.
I know. It's just give it 5 minutes, and then just don't ever watch it again. And
You can't watch
it's
the movie again when you know everything that it went through with that.
No, definitely not.
Elena, better late than never. Glad you were able to pop on. Glad you had a good time at the beach, and good to see you right there. You look very happy. You've got a special glow about you. It's probably just the lighting around you.
Tucker.
But
The humidity.
Now I'm being attacked.
love your puppies. We were glad to have them on as well. But more than anything, I want to thank everybody through the chat. We can't do the show without you. We appreciate you being here. Feel free always to come up with us any problems, topics you want to hear us talk about. We're there for you. That's why we are here, because we all need each other. We all need a place to go. We all need somebody to talk to sometimes. And sometimes the people closest to us are not necessarily the ones to do it with. And you need your voice to be heard by somebody else. And that's what we want to be here for. All right. But sometimes the people close to you are good people to talk to, so don't discount them either. All right. But there's personal things. Sometimes you don't, because people are biased. And people who are really close to you will often tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear.
Very true.
So we'll see you all
Super
later. Thank you
true.
again for joining us. You all have a great night. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, Keith Litton here for Ear Shoulder Voice. While you're here, why don't you like, share, subscribe, and follow so you can be notified of all our new broadcasts that we're bringing to you live every week and live chat during the show. You can also head on over to www.earshouldervoice.com, find out more information, suggest topics you'd like to see our panel discuss, and even apply to be a guest panelist yourself. Boy, does it feel good to be back.
Oh, yeah.
But it's hot
wanted
as
to-
fuck.
I wanted to bring up something.
Yeah.
So in the countdown intro, where you got the 4 people dancing,
Yeah.
3 of them, like, where did you get that? Because 3 of them are horrible, and the last one is definitely a stripper.
It's Linda, me, Brandon, and Nikki. I was like,
That makes it so much better right now. That makes it so much better.
we were the 4 founders, so that's what they are. I was like,
I won't tell you which one's really good.
I was going to say, which one do you think is a stripper now?
Yeah,
The biggest one, because he is a stripper.
That's true. That's it.
I've actually been waiting for somebody to say something like that for a while.
It's not that it's bad. It's just funny with the silhouettes and things like that.
It's meant to just be a fun open,
Yeah.
the brick wall, the bar, the open. That's what I was going for.
I presumed you had gotten it like from stock, from stock or something.
I did.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was like real people.
They're not. They are real people. They're not us. They were modified a little bit to reflect sizes of each individual.
Oh, okay.
They're not really us.
Oh, okay.
No, they're not. It's supposed to represent us.
Gotcha.
It's actually really hard to find like good dancing silhouettes online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Blake,
can
if you're
imagine.
gonna wrestle,
Yeah.
you're gonna go inside.
Nobody
I'm
else gets to
sunburned
see that
right
because we
now
cut
with
that part
abs.
off.
I'm crispy. My skin hurts.
Don't pull that shirt too far down. Bill might still be here.
Yeah, we're still live.
Okay, yeah.
No, I know.
I'm just saying.
My skin still feels hot.
No, it was good. Wow, we really got into that stoner talk. That was awesome.
Weed's bad. Don't do it.
Yeah, weed's bad. Yeah, you don't want smoking a weed. Weed is
It's
bad
good.
for
You can you can always get into some humor conversations when talking about weed.
Yeah, things definitely lighten up when you bring up marijuana.
Right. Yeah.
And it's
Well,
good
what
because
I've
we need
noticed-
both spectrums.
It was brought up that like weed's a gateway drug. From my experience, cigarettes are more of a gateway drug than marijuana is.
Yeah.
See, I don't think so.
I disagree.
I don't
don't see
know
ma-
anyone
see-
that smokes crack that also doesn't smoke cigarettes.
But
That's
that
unrelated.
doesn't necessarily
That's
mean
a
that
big-
cigarettes led to
That's a big
cracks.
stretch.
Yeah, correlation.
The cigarettes
and
didn't lead to the
causation
cracks.
is different.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Throwing it out
That's
there.
like saying menthol cigarettes are a gateway drug. No matter what you smoke after smoking weed, most people want a menthol.
Yeah,
It's like jumping
Yeah.
a bridge. Yeah. It's
yeah, causation, correlation, kind of.
No, and I get that, but like cigarettes are way more addictive, like chemically, than marijuana is.
Yes.
yeah.
I
But
can see actually.
if I run out of Marlboro Lights, I'm not going to be like, I think I'm going to upgrade to some crack.
What kind of cracks you got?
Yeah. You get two
How
cracks.
many
three
cracks do you have?
To be all the cracks.
I need them all.
I can see
now.
where you might think that more often, Elena, because of your age, actually, because so fewer people now smoke cigarettes
Yeah.
Right.
that I can see the correlation. But before, everybody smoked cigarettes, so it had nothing to do
Right.
with what they went on to.
No, absolutely.
No, and I mean, I when I was growing up, I saw weed as a gateway drug, but only because of the channels that you had to get it from. Not so much
Yeah.
the drug itself, because
Right.
it's
It's
it's not
weed.
addictive, anything like that.
But it was
if you
much
have
more
to go
taboo.
downtown to somebody who's selling, cracks. You got 3 cracks and 4 LSDs and 5 PCPs or whatever the fuck they're called.
Right.
I
And
love your
it's,
cat
oh,
creeping
well,
in the background all
I
show,
know.
by the way.
I like, they're like, oh, I like this drug he's selling. Maybe this drug is good too.
Right.
Well, weed
And,
was
like-
definitely a gateway for a long time.
Yeah.
Because that's
And,
what it was,
more
like you said.
More recently, like before all the dispensaries started popping up, there were a lot of people that sold weed but didn't sell other drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now they sell
Like there
the
were
other
weed,
drugs.
there were weed guys.
Well,
They weren't
because
drug dealers; they were weed guys.
yeah,
You know
what I
well, and how long ago? How long has it been since weed's been medically legal?
Only about 3 years, I think.
Medically,
3 or
it's
4
been
years.
like 8 or
Oh,
9.
medically? Yeah, medically like 10 years.
Yeah, and
Oh,
so
nice.
at that point as well, it kind of started being more available because you had people that were doing it on the up and up, and then also not so much.
Right. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but marijuana became legal. I mean, in Michigan, I think it was 2015, like recreationally.
No, I
I
thought it was.
2018.
Yeah, Trump was in office, I think, when that happened.
Yeah, it was 18.
Yeah,
and
because
then
it was the ballot. It was on the
took a
ballot in the
couple of years.
midterms. It was the midterms. Yeah.
It took a couple
Okay.
years to actually have it go through to where dispensaries and that but it passed, I think, in 2018.
Right. Yeah, that would
Oh,
be
okay.
right because it was on the ballot in the midterms. And that's when it did pass.
I'm thinking of something
So.
else then.
Probably. Get your head straight. Stop smoking so much pot.
Yeah, goddamn it, Elena.
Probably.
Switch
get
to
I
the
don't
cracks.
even
I
smoke
got a
that much.
pack
I
and all
just
that
do the
shit.
edibles.
Yeah, the edibles are good. By the way, anybody watching, don't give edibles to your dog.
Yeah, that's bad.
Bad. Very
That's
bad.
bad.
Very bad. I had to take my dog to the hospital. I don't know who did it, who was over when I was on vacation. When I came back, somehow he got an edible from somewhere, somehow.
CBD
Oh,
dog
no.
treats are a thing, though, and those are nice.
Yeah.
Those are great.
but
10 out of 10 would recommend
He was
those.
bad. She was really, really bad shape.
Yeah, THC.
And it sucked that she
though.
was in bad shape because after I found out that it was marijuana that she ingested, I couldn't help but laugh because I knew she was stoned.
Yeah.
Like, as she stumbled, I was like, I felt really bad because she wasn't doing good, but every time she stumbled, I'm like, you're stoned, and now it's funny. I was like,
Yeah.
but
Now
no,
that
she
I
was in
know
bad shape at
what's
first.
wrong.
Right. But if I had not taken her, she had much more, she might not be with us. So, always be careful of that. Love you guys.
Love you.